Hello and welcome to Happy Vending. I'm Bill, and today I'm going to show you a secret code that you can put into any G3 machine. Happy Vending. If you have a G3 machine like this that doesn't have a credit card reader and you want to be able to see how many of your products sold without opening the machine, there is a code that you can type into the front of the machine and then look at the sales data, and then you'll know if any of your products need to be refilled. It's pretty simple to do. The password to get into the menu is 4231. That means you press the fourth button, the second button, the third button, and then the first. And then it takes you into these menus. You know, you can't get into all of the menus without going into the machine and pressing the programming button, but there are a couple that you can get into. Like you can check errors that the machine has logged. And I'm going to press the second button to go up. I can check how much cash the machine has brought in, and sales. Sales are what I go into when I have a machine like this without a credit card reader. If I had a credit card reader on the machine, I could see the sales data just from my computer without even being near the machine. But without the credit card reader, you have to really come up to the machine, and I like to look into sales data. I'm going to press the fourth button to enter the sales data, and then I'm going to press the second button to go up through the different sales data. I like to look at the selection. So this is selection 1, which is on this machine, my Cokes. So it's telling me 28 have sold since I last reset this. I'm going to go up, selection 2, 46 Diet Cokes. This is in a faculty room in a high school, and Diet Coke is the big seller in most school faculty rooms. Go up, the third selection is Cherry Coke, 10 of those have sold. Fourth selection is my root beer, only 1 is sold, and the reason for that is that selection switch has been broken and I just changed it. You can check that out on one of my other videos replacing this selection switch. Selection 5 is Mountain Dew, 16 of those sold. 6 is Crush, only 3 Crush. I guess it's not a staff favorite. 7 is Ginger Ale, 8 of those sold. 8 is iced tea bottles, 15, and then water is in number 9. 22 of those have sold. That's a pretty decent seller in here, water and Diet Coke. So to get out of this, you could just let this up, and after a period of time, maybe a couple minutes, it will go back into its greeting message, or to get out of it, you can press the top button. It will take you back to sales. Press the second button to get the return, and then the fourth button to enter that, and then it goes out of that menu. But I usually just leave it up, and like I said, in a couple minutes, it disappears. Now the thing you have to know though is how you reset those totals. Like now that I just read them, that doesn't mean that they're going to reset back to 0 just because I read them. They're gonna stay where they're at. To reset them, you have to actually open up the machine, press the programming button on the control board, and read the sales data through the control board before it will reset those. But only if the machine is set to reset that data, which is another setting which I'm going to show you now. And to show you these settings, I have to open up the machine. The control board on the G3 machine is inside the inner door, up here at the top. This is an older board, I can tell because it has the red button. The newer boards have a small blue button up top. But we press this button once, then we go to the front of the machine. It will be in its error menu. And if I pressed up until I got to sales, now you can't get to sales on this machine without putting in the password first. And once again, the password is the same that it is when the machine is closed. It's 4231. 4231. I'm going to press the fourth to go enter. And now it takes me into the additional menus. cash, and now a sale. This is different though. If I go into this sale, it will show the same amounts, but once I close the machine, they're all going to zero out because I checked it by going into the control board. This will though only zero it out if the configuration menu is set to zero out these when you read them, and there's a separate setting for that. I'm going to show you that first. So we're going to continue going through these menus until we hit configuration, and there it is, CON. I'm going to press the fourth button to enter, and the configuration menu that we want to go to is number 5, and there it is. And in order for resettable data to reset after reading it, this has to be set to a 1, which it is. But if yours is set to a 0, it won't reset that data even if you read it. To change that from either a 1 to a 0 or a 0 to a 1, you press the fourth button, and then it starts blinking, and then the second button to change it. Now it's going to a 0. But I'm going to put it back to a 1. And then press enter, just to lock that in. I'm going to press the top button to get out of this, and I'm going to go back to my sales, press the fourth button to enter that, and then start pressing the second button to read these readings. There they are, the same ones that we saw before, 28, 46, 10, this should be 10. Okay, but now that I've looked at least one of them, you don't have to look at all of them. Once you've looked at least one of them, you can close up your machine. We'll go back into its sales mode. There it is, that's its greeting message. And now if I put in that same code that I did before, 4, 2, 3, 1, there I am into those menus again. I'm going to go up to sales, press in the fourth button. It's going to enter it, and then I go to selection 1, 0, selection 2, 0. So at this point, it's starting fresh again, and that's how you get them to zero out. I usually zero those out after I do a full fill of the machine. I fill up all the selections, I'll zero it out. Then when I come in this room, I can just real quick punch in that code, see how many of each selection I've sold, then I can bring the appropriate amount of drinks. You can go up to any G3 machine, you see at the amusement park, and sometimes I do this. If I'm waiting in line and there's a G3 machine, I'll punch in that code and it will work. The only thing is, in most locations like that, they have credit card readers, and that's all monitored remotely. So they never reset those selection menus. So you'll see it'll be selection 1, 200 or 300, 500, like really big numbers. And it's just because nobody's resetting them. So you don't really truly know how many have sold from that machine. But on my machines, without the credit card readers, I am resetting them. So hopefully now you know a little something about the secret menus in the G3 machine, and as always, happy vending.